Hey there, my friend, Keala Kanae here, and one of the questions I get most often when I'm on podcasts or media interviews or speaking at events is, Keala, what does it really take to create a 7 or even 8-figure per year business? What do I need to know? And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 things that you must have in order to accomplish that, in order to add that extra comma or that extra digit to your revenue number. So hang with me all the way up until the very end. Right now, today, you can make a decision that changes your life and go out there and get what you came here for. All right, so in this quick video, I'm going to share with you 4 critical things that we've discovered over the years that have helped us become a multi-8-figure business and have as much as 60 people on staff at any one time. And so before I dive into that though, I just want to remind you that if you're seeing this on social media or anywhere that you're seeing this online, if you like this sort of content, then just take a little moment down below and click that little like button if you would, right? It's just fair. Better yet, drop some comment love. Let me know, what did you like about it? What did you learn from this? What else would you like me to shoot more content about? What questions do you have that maybe I can answer? That sort of thing. If you're seeing this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell notification. Make sure that you get notified every week that I roll out new content like this for free to help you create more success in your life and your business. Now, with that said, let's dive into these 4 things and hang with me all the way into the very end, because number 4 is probably gonna be the one that's most impactful and most enlightening for you. So hang with me until the end. All right, so thing number 1 is gonna be KPIs. Critical to the business, may or may not be profound for you depending on where you're at, but KPIs, key performance indicators. In other words, identifying what numbers are most important to you and your business, right? A business is literally only as good as the information by which it makes its decisions. In other words, good businesses are data driven. But in a business that's growing and expanding, there's millions of numbers that you could pay attention to, but only very few that actually move the needle and drive that business forward. And it's going to be critical that you identify those numbers and that you're watching those to help you navigate your ship. Right? Think about it like a pilot. When a pilot takes off in an airplane, it's not long before they lose sight of where they left, and they cannot see where it is that they're going, where they're going to land. The only thing by which they're able to fly that plane is instruments, the measurements, right? The data that they have in front of them, which tells them to speed up, slow down, increase their altitude, decrease their altitude, and all the rest of it. It's going to be the same for you. It's going to be critical that you have a dashboard as the pilot of your vehicle. That you have a dashboard that is telling you when to pivot, when to change, when to go faster, when to slow down, and that sorts of stuff. So critical, and I'll leave a link somewhere around here to another video where I go deeper on the topic of KPIs, even sharing with you the KPIs that we use to run our business. Number 2 is going to be SWOT, right? So literally every week, my team and I meet on just these 2 topics. My executive team and I meet to speak about just these 2 things. KPIs, are we red, yellow, green on these different numbers? And then SWOT, what are our strengths, things that we're doing really well? Weaknesses, things that we either need to cut or get better at, opportunities that we may not have capitalized on yet, and threats to the business that may not even be real threats yet. But if we don't identify them and get out in front, then they could become harmful to the business. A recent example that I can think of is earlier this year, we kind of identified that one of the team members on our team had grown so much in their role. They had been here for years. They had grown so much in their role that they were inevitably becoming more valuable in the marketplace than we were going to ever be willing to pay them in a salary. So it was quite likely that that person was going to spread their wings and fly. Well, because we identified that, I was able to speak with that person, eventually create a win-win scenario. And instead of them leaving the company with a gaping hole in it, they've actually branched off and created another division of the company. Win-win. They get to fly. We get to continue to have their talents when needed. And so it worked out for the benefit of all. But that's one of those things that could have been really harmful to the business had we not identified it months in advance. So there's an example. Number 3 is going to be delegation, right? And we've probably all struggled with this. I'm going to be very crystal clear. If you're a business owner watching this right now, chances are you're a control freak, right? Ask me how I know. Now, here's the thing. Growth and control are opposing forces. In order for a company to grow, you have to kind of let go of the reins, let go of control. And so if you try to have both, you're going to end up with neither, okay? So it becomes really important as you begin to scale to get really good at delegating. And delegating is ultimately going to mean having a great hiring process so that you get great team members, having a great training process so that you're onboarding those team members and training them very well. It's going to be about having good systems and processes in place so that you can rely on those systems and processes to do the reporting, about having great KPIs so that through those KPIs you have a lens to see what departments are doing great and what roles are doing great and what roles are dropping the ball. So it's going to be increasingly important that because you can't, when you're making 6 figures a year as a business, maybe you can do most things. You can probably do almost everything. But if you want to get to 7 figures and especially 8 figures, you've got to be willing to let go of more and more things, which means being a master of delegation, a master of building systems and processes, or having somebody on the team that can build the systems and processes that ultimately empower you to delegate, let go of more things, and focus on only the things that only you can do in your business. And here's number 4, which some people may agree with, some people may not agree with, but it's one of the things that helped us ultimately grow our business. Sorry, just kind of misspelled there. So it's going to be negative customer acquisition. Being able to acquire customers at a loss, right? So this is one of those things that makes immensely scaled business immensely scalable, is the ability to acquire customers at a loss. Right? If you look at the biggest businesses in the world, some of the big tech giants, right? How do they grow into such monstrosities of business? Well, they take on rounds and rounds and rounds of funding to fund their ability to acquire customers at a loss. And they do that over and over and over again after multiple series, and eventually they have enough customers in that ecosystem that ecosystem can stand on its own 2 feet, and they have a profitable model in the long run. But it means that they're losing money in the short run. They're operating in the red, so to speak, for quite a long time, many of them. Now, for most of us as solopreneurs or most entrepreneurs, we're probably not going to go out and do that. I mean, you're free to do so if you want. One of the downsides is obviously that you eventually don't own your company. A bunch of other people own your company too, and you're responsible to a bunch of shareholders. But if you want to have that same ability to grow without all of that, without bringing on all that investor capital, then you must find a way to create negative customer acquisition. So not that long ago in my business, we were spending $500 on average to acquire a $99 customer. So in other words, we spent $500 on ads on YouTube, Facebook, pretty much all the social media platforms that you can think of. And we were spending $500 just to get somebody to spend $99 with us one time. It wasn't recurring, it wasn't monthly recurring or annual recurring, it's just one time. Why were we able to do so? Because we knew that once we got them into our ecosystem and worked with that customer, within about 30 to 45 days, we turned that customer into roughly $1,000 on average, right? So really we're spending $500 to make $1,000, but that's only because over time we built in a system that allowed us to do that, and we had a fairly decent turnaround, and we were able to therefore acquire customers at a loss, bring them into our ecosystem, work with them over time, take them through our back-end sequences, sell them more of our products through a process that we refined over time, and double our money in the long run. But we would not have been able to get to the point of spending $30,000 to $40,000 per day on ads if we did not figure out how to acquire customers at a loss, right? Or I should put customers here, C. So acquiring customers at a loss. So if you can figure out a way to do that, you will start to dominate your space. You're bringing in more and more customers into your ecosystem. Now, to be fair, have I seen other businesses that have done this without doing that? Yes, I've seen people that go straight from, ad to application to a $10,000 offer or whatever it might be. And they're acquiring customers at a win all day. But in the long run, they're not acquiring enough of a customer pool to build a large enough customer base to be extremely scalable over time. What we found, we've tried both. And what we found is that it's just better to acquire more. Once a customer will give you money, they're pretty much going to buy from you over and over again until you either break your promise or offend them. That's basically it. So once we can get them over that hurdle and into our ecosystem, these become people that we can sell to over and over and over again in the future, which there's a good amount of power and scalability in that. And we can make other offers to that audience as well. So negative customer acquisition, some people have tried to argue with me on that. That's what I found has been one of the key players in our business. Going from $0 to $20 million in our first year would not have been possible without having an ecosystem that made this possible. So I hope you get some value out of this. If you like the content, go ahead and like the video. Drop a comment down below, leave some comment love. Did you get value out of this? What else would you like to learn? Do you want me to go deeper on any one of these topics? That sort of thing. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Bell Squad, get notified every week that I drop more content like this and more to help you create more success in your life and your business. And I'll see you in a future video, my friend. Take care.